I never thought a day could start like this. The way a nightmare could crawl into your waking life, uninvited, and leave you trembling on the edge of something you'd never recover from. But that morning, the world I thought I knew collapsed in an instant. I had woken up to the faint hum of the ceiling fan and the warm sunlight spilling across our bedroom floor. Everything seemed normal, too normal. My wife, Angela, was nowhere in sight, which wasn't unusual. She worked odd hours at her marketing firm, and I often left before her in the mornings. I grabbed my coffee, intending to scroll through emails, when I noticed something odd. The bedroom door slightly ajar. Pause. My gut clenched. Something in me whispered that the quiet behind that door wasn't just ordinary morning silence. I pushed it open, slowly, cautiously, and froze. There they were. Angela, sprawled across our bed, laughing softly. Her face flushed in the way she used to when we shared jokes in the early days of our marriage. And next to her, my lawyer, the man I trusted to help protect me through our complex divorce discussions months ago, was. I don't even have words that don't make my stomach turn. He was in our bed. My bed. Time stopped. My hands trembled, and my coffee mug slipped from my fingers, shattering against the hardwood floor. The sound must have alerted them, because Angela's head whipped toward me, her expression shifting from pleasure to shock in a fraction of a second. Mark. She stammered. I didn't even know I had the gun. It was tucked in the nightstand drawer for emergencies. A piece of security I had never imagined would be pointed at someone I knew and trusted. But instinct overrode thought. My hand closed around it, lifting it slowly, deliberately, shaking as I pressed it to the side of his head. I can explain, Mark said, trying to keep his voice calm. I laughed, a bitter, hollow sound. Explain. Explain what? That you betrayed your client's trust. That you betrayed every shred of decency. Angela's eyes welled up, tears forming so quickly they made her mascara run. Azza, it's not what you think. But I had already made up my mind. Not what I think. You're in my bedroom with him, my lawyer, the man I trusted with everything while you were smiling in my face every day. Tell me, Angela, how long? She flinched. A few months. I didn't mean for it to happen. Didn't mean for it to happen. Echoed, my voice breaking. You call this a mistake? This, betrayal? My chest felt like it was being crushed. I wanted to scream, to hurt someone, to make the pain tangible because my heart couldn't hold it anymore. Mark raised his hand slowly. Azza, please. Put the gun down. We couldn't. Not yet. Not until I heard the truth. No. Not until I know every word. Every lie you told me while you were doing this behind my back. Angela's sobs filled the room, raw and unfiltered. She moved closer, hands trembling, as if proximity could somehow undo the damage. But I couldn't let her touch me. I felt a rage inside me I didn't recognize. Part fear, part grief, part pure heartbreak. I thought you loved me, I said, the words barely audible over the thundering in my head. I thought we were building a life together. And you? You were sneaking around behind my back with the one person I trusted to protect me. Mark swallowed hard, sweat glistening on his forehead. It was wrong. I slammed the gun down onto the dresser, the clatter echoing like thunder in my ears. Not at him. At the betrayal itself. The weight of the moment crashed into me. I sank onto the edge of the bed, burying my face in my hands, trying to process the chaos. Angela knelt beside me, her voice shaking. Azza, I never stopped caring about you. I just felt invisible. You were always so focused on work, on everything else. I don't know, I thought I could feel alive again with someone who paid attention to me. I lifted my head slowly, staring at her through the blur of tears and rage. So, cheating was the answer. Lying in my bed while smiling like nothing happened. That's how you fix feeling invisible. She flinched but didn't look away. I made a mistake. Terrible mistake. Love you. I don't know how to stop feeling lonely. I needed attention. I thought I could handle it. I was wrong. I'm so sorry. I wanted to believe her. I wanted to let the familiar love I felt for her years ago wash over the anger, but it was too deep, too raw. The cracks in my trust weren't something you could patch up with apologies. Mark, sensing the shift in my mood, tried again. Azza, leave. I promise I'll never contact her again. I can get out of here, just calm down. I shook my head. No. Stay. You hear what she's saying, see the damage you caused. You be here for this because you're part of it too. You can't walk away and pretend this didn't happen. Angela buried her face in her hands again, sobbing openly now. I don't deserve you. You don't. You've been everything and I stood abruptly, my body trembling, rage mixing with grief. I trusted you, believed in us. And you, both of you, destroyed that trust like it was nothing. Like my heart meant nothing. Mark flinched, Angela gasped, but I couldn't stop. You sit there, pretending like nothing happened, while I pick up the pieces of my life you shattered. For a moment, silence filled the room, thick and suffocating. Then Angela spoke, her voice barely more than a whisper. Azza, I want to fix it. I'll do anything. I laughed again, bitter, sharp, hollow. Fix it. Do you know what that even means? You think an apology, some tears, can erase months of betrayal? Can you imagine what it's like to see the person you love in my bed with another man? My lawyer, no less? Can you imagine living with that image every day? Her sobs grew louder, pleading now. I'll go to counseling. I'll leave Mark. Anything. Just please don't end us. I stared at her, the weight of years of shared memories pressing on me. I remembered the first time she smiled at me across a crowded cafe, the late nights we spent talking about our dreams, the mornings curled up together in lazy contentment. And now this. I can't just forget, I said quietly, almost to myself. I can't pretend this never happened. And even if I wanted to. Every time I looked at you, every time I thought about holding you, I'd see him there too. I'd see the betrayal. I'd feel it in my bones every single day. Angela's face crumpled and she sank to the floor, burying her face in her hands. Mark's expression shifted from fear to guilt, finally understanding the depth of the damage. I walked to the window, the sunlight blinding me for a moment as I tried to breathe through the storm in my chest. I realized then that my life had irrevocably changed, and nothing, no apology, no tear, no declaration of love, could restore what had been lost. I want you both out, I said finally, my voice steady but cold. Now. Angela looked up, eyes red and swollen. Azza, please. No, I cut her off, voice firm. This is done. There's no please, no maybe. You made your choice. Now live with it. Mark nodded silently, guilt etched into every line of his face. He grabbed his coat and left without a word. Angela remained on the floor, silent now, the weight of my words finally hitting her. I walked past her, my hands shaking but my mind resolute. I reached the front door, paused, and turned back once. Don't ever call me again. Don't show up here. Don't even think about what we had. It's gone. And with that I closed the door. For hours afterward, I sat alone in the quiet of the house, the walls echoing with memories and broken trust. The grief was sharp, like shards of glass pressing into my chest, and the anger burned like fire in my veins. But beneath it all, beneath the betrayal and the heartbreak, there was a strange clarity. I had survived this. I had faced the worst moment of my life and lived through it. I realized then that life wouldn't stop because someone else chose to betray me. I would rebuild slowly, painfully, but I would rebuild. The pain would fade in time, the anger would soften, and the heartbreak would become a memory, a dark lesson in trust, love, and the cost of deception. And maybe one day I would find a love that didn't betray, a heart that didn't lie, a life that didn't shatter with one careless choice. But not today. Today I mourned what I had lost. And tomorrow I began to live again.